Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into something a little different but incredibly important, how we understand the world through different perspectives, whether it's through science, spirituality or daily life. And we'll explore this idea through a simple analogy of a classroom. Have you ever wondered why some students get the top ranks in school while others don't do so well? Is it just about intelligence, or is there something deeper going on? Let's think about that for a second. Imagine a classroom full of students, different talents and different ways of seeing the world. Now, I'm sure we've all been in a classroom like this, but today we're going to look beyond just academic rankings and try to understand what's really happening here. Let's start with the first-ranked student. This student is at the top not just because they study hard, but because they understand the subject in a way that allows them to think critically. They can see how the things they're learning connect to the real world, and they also know why they're learning it. For them, it's not just about memorizing facts for an exam. It's about truly grasping the concept and even imagining what might happen if the rules of what they've learned were different. They treat their studies almost like a form of science, something to be explored, questioned and understood deeply. On the other hand, there's the last-ranked student. This student struggles. Maybe they memorize facts just enough to pass the exam, but they don't really understand what those facts mean or why they're important. It's as if they're walking through their studies blindfolded, following the path that the teacher has laid out, without ever questioning or exploring it for themselves. And here's the thing, there's no judgment in this. We've all been both students at some point in our lives. Sometimes we really understand something deeply, and sometimes we just scrape by hoping for the best. But why does this happen? This idea of first-rank and last-rank students isn't just about school. It's a reflection of how we approach knowledge and, in many ways, spirituality in today's world. Let's think about spirituality for a moment. How do we see it today? For some people, spirituality is like the first-rank student's approach to learning. They seek understanding. They want to know the why behind things. Why do we practice certain traditions? What's the deeper meaning behind rituals or beliefs? These people treat spirituality like an exploration, constantly searching for more knowledge and understanding. For them, spirituality might not be something fixed. It evolves as they learn and grow. But then there are others who might treat spirituality more like the last-ranked student's approach. They follow traditions and beliefs because that's how it's always been done. There's no questioning or exploring, just doing. And again, there's no judgment here. It's just a different way of seeing the world. Some people are content with the idea that things are the way they are, and there's no need to question it. In today's world, it can feel like there's a gap between these two ways of thinking. Some people approach spirituality like science, constantly questioning and searching for more understanding, while others hold on to traditions and practices without needing to explore further. But what if there's value in both approaches? What if, like in a classroom, each perspective has something important to offer? Now, let's bring in the idea of teachers, specifically spiritual teachers like Siddhas, Jesus, or any other figure of wisdom throughout history. What were they doing? Were they trying to start a religion, create a strict set of rules, or control people through rituals? I don't think so. These teachers were more like the first-ranked students. They had deep, profound understanding of life and the universe. They didn't see people as being different based on religion, caste, race, or any other label. To them, we were all students, all trying to learn and grow. In fact, many of these great teachers didn't even want their teachings to be confined to one group of people. They didn't say, this is for Hindus, or this is for Christians, or this is for Muslims. They said, this is for anyone who is willing to learn. Think about it. Whether it's Siddha teachings, the words of Jesus, or even the philosophies of the Buddha, none of them started out as religious texts. These were lessons for anyone who sought knowledge, lessons about how to live life, how to find peace, and how to connect with something greater than ourselves. Now let's take this one step further. Many of the rituals and methods we follow today were originally created for very practical reasons. Take, for example, the fire walking ceremony in Hinduism. Today it's seen as a spiritual practice, something connected to gods like Kali or Muruga. But if we dig deeper into history, we might find that this practice was actually rooted in something far more practical. In ancient times, people didn't wear shoes like we do today, especially those living in forests or rural areas. They would often step on sharp objects like thorns or stones, which could embed themselves in their feet, causing pain and infection. One way to treat this was through fire walking. The heat from the fire would help draw out any remaining fragments and heal the foot. So what began as a practical solution to a common problem eventually became a ritual, passed down through generations until its original purpose was almost forgotten. In my own life, I experienced something similar. When I was younger, I stepped on a thorn that caused me great pain for days. My grandmother, using her traditional knowledge, told me to warm my foot near a fire. After doing that, the pain vanished. She explained that the heat had likely drawn out a small fragment of the thorn that was still inside. This was a simple, practical solution, but over time such practices have been imbued with spiritual significance. So, where does this leave us? I believe that every method or tradition has a reason behind it, a practical purpose that helps people live better in their specific environment. And while these practices may have evolved into rituals or spiritual ceremonies, we shouldn't forget their origins. At the same time, I respect the spiritual significance these rituals hold for people today. For many, they offer comfort, connection, and a sense of belonging. But I also think it's important to approach these practices with curiosity, much like that first-rank student. Ask questions, understand why these methods were created in the first place, and see how they can still be relevant in our modern world. So, as we wrap up today's discussion, I want to leave you with this thought. Whether it's in the classroom of life or the spiritual journey, we're all students. Some of us are first rank, diving deep into understanding and questioning the world around us. Others are last rank, following the path laid before us, perhaps without much questioning. But here's the thing. Both approaches have value. It's not about who's right or wrong, it's about being open to learning, no matter where we are in our journey. And it's about recognizing that every tradition, every method, has a reason behind it, whether that reason is practical, spiritual, or somewhere in between. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective on this topic. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and remember, we're all students in the classroom of life.